What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Monster Talks. I'm really excited about today's guest. Today's guest is a professional boxer. He's also a marriage counselor. Mr. Abel Mendoza, how's it going, bro?
Good. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
And thank you for coming by, man. I appreciate you doing this. Just wanted to just jump right into the boxing stuff, man. I'm really excited about the whole as I was telling you before this podcast. I really love people that are the mindset of people that are in martial arts, boxing, it breeds a different breed.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So tell me, man, how did you get started in boxing?
My dad, he's been teaching me since I was a little boy, about like 4 or 5 years old. And then my older brother was in boxing, so he's like 5 years older than me. And he started when he was 8. So just being around it, I've been around it my whole life, ever since I could remember. I've been around it and seeing him do it. And as soon as I got old enough, I got into competing, and I just loved it ever since.
Was your dad a boxer, or
he was a boxer? Yeah,
he was also in boxing. Yeah, because that's usually when when people get their kids involved, it's probably because they were doing it and stuff like that. Yeah. So cool, man. And you say you grew up in Pecos, right?
Pecos, yeah.
And what was life like in Pecos growing up?
Shoot, I don't know if you ever been, man, but it's a small little town. It's nothing really much to do. It's kind of like Clint on its own. It's really small. People say El Paso is small, but shoot, man, Pecos, that's small. That's really? It's like Las Cruces is way bigger than Pecos.
Yeah.
So, I found a way out of an opportunity way out through boxing, and so I did it ever since.
Yeah. So, you've been competing since what age?
8 years old.
8.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you brought up in it. You grew up in it.
Yeah, I grew up in it. My dad, he always wanted to be a boxer, but he had my older brother at an early age, so he had to support his family. Had a then he had me, and he had my little brother. So it wasn't meant for him to be in. And my older brother, boxing's it's a hard sport. So my older brother too, he got married, and my younger brother, it's just boxing's really hard to do for a living, and I continued to do it though. This is what I wanted to do ever since I was a little kid. So
what brought you to El Paso? I know you say you moved over here when you were 16, right?
Yeah, 16. So it's crazy, man, because I had to come over here. What happened was I got emancipated. I got in trouble back in Pecos. I actually moved from Pecos to Odessa. So then I got in trouble, and I saw everybody around me go to jail, going to prison, and I didn't want to be like that. So I got emancipated. I came to El Paso on my own when I was 16. And man, El Paso accepted me, and it's been my home.
So you came to El Paso and you were still working on the boxing thing?
Boxing, yeah. That was the main thing. My main thing was to, at the time, make the Olympic team. And make the, Juarez is right here, so I would go and compete in I would fight for state. Mm-hmm. And then I would represent, and then after that, we'd represent Chihuahua, the state of Chihuahua, and then we made the team, we would represent Mexico, and I made the team. So for a little bit, I was on the Olympic team in for Mexico. Got dual citizenship through my mom.
Wow, that's crazy, man, because a lot of people do that. They go play in Mexico, or they go perform in Mexico. Yeah. How's the boxing, like the whole game there? Like, there's some good boxers?
Oh, yeah, there's good boxers. There's good athletes overall. Because I was at the Olympic Training Center, so there was like gymnastics there. The track team was there.
Oh, okay.
And it was like a dorm. they were all there. So it was cool, man. Cool to see them, everybody there, all the athletes. It was awesome.
Yeah. So you were traveling back and forth, or you actually lived in
I
Mexico?
lived in Mexico City, yeah, at
Oh,
the Olympic Training Center.
wow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done some traveling. I've seen, looking at your page, I was pretty blown away. Like, man, this dude's
Oh
been
yeah, I've
been
been
all
a
over
lot
the
of
place,
places.
man.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
it's crazy, man. I never
so,
imagined going to so many places.
and it was boxing that took you there, huh?
boxing. Yeah, all of them were for boxing. It's crazy. I can't remember like me. I don't think I've ever really gone like on a vacation just to go and do like what tourists do.
Yeah.
Just to. I don't know.
Yeah, because I can imagine as a boxer, you probably got to be locked in, man. You're there,
Yeah,
and it's like you're there for business. You're not
Yeah.
there to play around.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
so, man, first of all, congratulations on your 40 wins that
Yep.
you've been able to accomplish throughout your career. No losses, man. That's
Yeah.
impressive, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fights, man. 10, almost there to beat Mayweather's record.
Yeah.
So professionally, it's crazy. I never imagined having this many fights. I remember looking up to guys that were like 10-0. I'm like, wow, this guy's 10-0. That's awesome. Like, shoot, I want to be like that one day.
Yeah.
Now I'm, 41-0. It's crazy.
41-0.
41-0. Yeah.
Well, after this
Yeah.
past fight here in El Paso.
hmm
Wow. And how do you those fights get lined up, or what? Like, your manager comes to you, or the promoter comes to you and say, "Hey, I got
Yeah. Yeah. Both. I have some advisors. I don't have a manager, but I have advisors, and
Yeah.
they guide me and they advise me on what fights to take and what fights not to take and when to take them, and But overall, man, I'm ready at any time. So
What do
You
you
know.
attribute like all your success to, man? Like all this 41-0 that you've accomplished. What do you say like has been the magic or the sauce that created that?
just trying to, just like anybody else, man, just trying to make something of yourself, and hoping to get there. I had a goal and a mission, and I've been on that mission ever since.
That's deep, man, that you say that, because I think for people that have grown up rough, man, and poor, and you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
it's more than just hard work. It's just being able to look back and say,
Yeah.
man, I'm not going back to that place.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we fight for that
Mhm.
every day. So that's deep that you say that. I like that.
Mhm.
Who are some of the most influential people in your boxing career that have helped you along the way?
My dad. My dad helped me out a lot. My mom and dad. I look up to my mom a lot. She's a hard worker, and just I come from a Mexican family. They're really hardworking, and I look up to them. They're really hardworking. I know, because of my profession, it wasn't really like a job to them. To them, it was like, what's this guy doing? He is not going to school. He doesn't have a job. Boxing. I come like I said, I come from a Mexican family. Real hardworking. So
Yeah.
when they see me doing something different, to them it was off. But I still looked up to their hard work ethic.
Yeah.
And that's where I got my hard work ethic, through them.
Yeah, for sure, man. I can relate to that, because you see that work ethic and it's just like instilled in you, and
Yeah.
you pushes you forward. That's how I've grown my company, is just through the struggle, but also seeing my mom's working really, really hard every day, and just trying to, you have it in you. It's somehow you're born with that too.
Yeah.
So I seen some of your videos, and I see you going around inspiring the youth, man, like touching the youth. Why is that important to you?
I think it's important to me because, I was that kid once, like, just, I felt like there was no hope, no way out. And I want to try and show them that there is hope, and that there is a way out, and that there's a better way.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the way it is or the way you think it is. It could be good for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I feel the same way, man. Just
Yeah.
trying to inspire the next. That's the reason why we do this podcast, is just
Nice.
to reach the youth, to reach the next generation, to inspire them,
Mhm.
to maybe be the spark that somebody needs to reach out to that younger us that, you know, was
Yeah.
sitting there at home. Like I couldn't even get out of my neighborhood, man. I was so broke. I didn't even have money for the bus. You know,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
uh, you know, like
That's tough.
that was what created the fire. But you know, now today with social media, I think we can reach people. So if we can say some words to inspire
Mhm.
people, I'm all for it, man. So I see that you do that a lot. And I see, you know, that smile on your face when you're out there with the kids. And I'm just like, man, like this means a lot to this guy. Like it's not just like he's there because he has to, you know?
Yeah. 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 No, people, they think that maybe there's people that think, oh, look, he's doing this for, for the camera or this, but uh, you know, I think it's good to show people to spread it. Like,
Yeah.
hey, look, he's doing it. Maybe we can do it too. Like, I want to be able to show people and spread positivity.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to continue and do positive things. Because there's a lot of negativity
Yeah.
in this world. So there's not enough positivity, and I want to try and be that positive.
For sure, man. I see you're being the beacon of it. You know, I seen your the news ran a little bit on you and your win and stuff like that, man. So little by little, I see that you're doing that through your fighting, dude, through your
Yeah.
boxing career.
Yeah, through boxing. Boxing, it's the boxing fans, the boxing world, the fight world in general. I mean,
Yeah.
it's rough. The
It's rough.
fans are rough. The fans are critical. It's not like golf fans. I
Yeah.
feel, or like tennis fans. I feel like, I mean, it could be a little rough maybe in their world, but in our world, the
Yeah.
fight fans. I mean,
Yeah.
the fan critics. It could get rough.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I can only imagine what it's like to be in the ring and you got all the lights in there. You're trying to focus on what you're doing at the moment. You kind of feel sometimes out of body,
Mhm.
you know, but you're locked in. You got
Yeah.
nerves. You got nerves together with adrenaline. Uh, you
Mhm.
know, what's that feeling like, man?
Well, it's what I've been working for. Um, and I would rather be in that position. Um, and I would rather people talk bad about me, like, oh, this guy's, because I get it all the time. You know, I would rather people talk bad about me in the sport of boxing, and this guy sucks at boxing, than people would talk about me like, oh, look, he's in prison, he's going to jail, he's locked up.
For sure.
So, at the end of the day, it's a win-win for me, because they're talking bad about me for being an athlete, rather than talk about bad than me being in prison.
For sure.
So a lot of people that I grew up went to prison, so I think it's been a win overall.
Yeah. I see you, like I seen in some of your interviews, where they're interviewing you and they're booing you at the same time. And you're just like, come on, man, come on with that. Like, you're just giving me energy on
Yeah,
that.
man. Yeah, it's always been a boost for me to have people doubt me, and I think it just gives me that extra boost, rather than because people come with a lot of support. They have that family support, and I mean, that's awesome. That's great that they got that, but I think what fueled me was having no support, and even to this day, people go against me, and I think it's gonna be like that for a long time. I think maybe it might even be like that for the rest of my career, you know, because I see it all the time, even with the big guys, even the guys that have made it. They're still talking bad about them, and like Canelo. Canelo gets a lot of hate.
Yeah.
And he's made it.
For sure.
So
He's laughing.
yeah, yeah.
So, you being a boxer, from a boxer's perspective, what makes Canelo so great?
His hard work ethic, for sure. His hard work ethic, and he's just a naturally strong guy. I mean, he's gifted. He's just
Yeah.
gifted. So
He's got the speed.
he's got speed, the power, and regardless where Canelo was, he was gonna be who he was, no matter
Yeah.
no matter where he was. I mean, Canelo is just a talented and Yeah, I mean he's someone. He's a good. Everybody. I think and I think he's slowing down at his age right now, but I think
Yeah.
he's still got it.
Out of all the boxers from all time, who are your top three?
Top three, I would have to say, uh, probably Oscar De La Hoya. Looked up to him a lot. Oscar De La Hoya, Muhammad Ali, and Manny Pacquiao. Yeah,
Wow.
Pacquiao. He was,
That's a hard list too, man, because there's so many great boxers.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
But Pacquiao, when I fought on his undercard, he's actually a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is he like?
It's funny because he's so respected. One time we were just all hanging out. It was like it was like in the hotel lobby. We're just all hanging out. He was there playing chess against another guy, and everybody around him was watching.
He was
him.
playing chess.
Yeah, chess. After his fight.
Oh shit! Damn, man.
And he some other guy was arguing with one of his security guys, one of the other fighters that fought. They made a big ruckus, like they were about a fist fight, and everybody was gathered around him, and Pacquiao just stands up, and everybody gets quiet, and he walks up to both those guys, and they just stay quiet.
Wow, man.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, Pacquiao's just shows how respected he is.
For sure, and he's a super smart dude too. Do you think we're gonna see him fight again?
Who knows? I've heard of things saying he's gonna fight, but
Yeah,
who knows?
I know they were trying to line up like him and Oscar, right, to run it back again or something like that.
That's what they say. They've said that about a few different guys, but who knows? Who knows, man?
What do you think about like all these older fighters like Mike Tyson coming back to the game, bro, at 60?
Man, they're not the same what they used to be.
For sure.
It's a different time now. It's like me fighting. There was a guy from back in the day, Marco Antonio Barrera.
Yeah.
It's it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's something like, when I was doing martial arts, I was doing jiu-jitsu, you can't keep up with the dudes that are in there 6-7 days a week, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you're going 3 or 4, you're just not gonna hang. I don't care. Like talent only takes you so far. You need the endurance.
The endurance, yeah. You need the hard work. Yep.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, do you think who do you think is gonna win if Mike Tyson actually does fight Jake Paul?
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake Paul. for
Same
sure.
too, man. I'm very impressed with what he's doing right now and just seeing this light. What did you think about this last fight with Mike Perry?
I thought Mike Perry was gonna do a little better. But just Mike Tyson, he's just more hardworking.
Yeah.
I think. And he's come along. He's not, he's a decent fighter. He's gotten a lot better than what he used to be. So
Yeah.
he's only getting better.
Yeah, I do see him, man. Like people
He's
are
improving.
like, all right, he's some. I just felt like his punches were cleaner too.
Yeah, he's improving.
Like his technique is more crisp.
Yeah, he's improving. He's getting more experience, and that's what boxing is. You
Yeah.
get the more experience.
And he's got some of the best trainers too, man.
Yeah, he's got everything he needs. He's got everything he needs. The right nutritionist, the right camp, everything he needs, he has it. So, it's just up to him. See if he still has that hunger in him.
Yeah.
I think he does. I think he has a point to prove. Everybody's doubting him, and I
Yeah.
think that might be what fuels him and
For
keeps
sure,
him
man.
going.
For sure. Yeah, I was pretty surprised that Mike Perry took as much damage as he did. He still wanted to get up. But
Yeah,
but that's Mike Perry. He's a dog, man.
yeah, he is.
Who's your top Mexican fighter ever?
Mexican. I like Julio Cesar Chavez. Yeah,
OG.
the OG. Yeah, Chavez. Yeah, man. For sure. He's just been in a lot of fights, and
That's what I was
Thank
going
you.
to ask. What do you like specifically about Julio Cesar Chavez's style?
he just pulled off a lot of upsets, and he just put Mexico on the map, you know. Um, so I think I look up to him a lot.
Yeah, he's definitely a beloved fighter amongst the Mexican people and also Mexican American people. You know,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
just the boxing world in general, man.
Yeah, the boxing world in general. He did. He made history. You know, Mexico. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
What's your training like these days? Like when you're preparing for fights?
Training.
Like how many
tough,
weeks
man.
out are you starting your training?
Maybe I'm always training. You know, I'm always in the gym, always getting ready. So you know, but you know, when it gets to a fight, it gets intense. It gets real hard, man. You know, I gotta do a lot of recovery. I gotta do a lot of just everything, man. It gets, you know, I work out like 3 times a day, really intense.
Damn, 3 times a day.
3 times a day, but it gets really intense. You know, I'm tired, I'm sore.
What are you doing, like cardio and
Cardio, strength and conditioning, you know, boxing, technique, and running like, you know, 8 miles. It gets hard.
Are you sparring all the way up to your fight, or are you
Sparring as well? You know, every other day, not every day. May sometimes, you know, just depends, you know, who and where. But yeah, for sure, do a lot of sparring.
Yeah.
Of sparring. Yeah.
Yeah, and
tough sparring sometimes. You know, real with other elite fighters.
Yeah. Are you running it like more when you spar for competition? Are you sparring more rounds just to prepare yourself, like with the cardio, or how are you training to get? Are you sparring the exact same rounds or?
Yeah. No, I mean, usually like when I get closer to a fight, I spar more rounds.
Yeah.
A lot more rounds for sure. A lot more.
What's one of the things that you feel has been like your biggest strength? Is it your cardio? Has it been just your technique? Has it been?
I think it has been my technique and yeah. I mean, I have good coaches. I think that's what, you know. I have coaches that we try to perfect the craft.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of coaches, they tell you what to do. You know, they'll tell you how to do it. But we try to perfect it because it's in fighting, it's the little mistakes that make the biggest difference. You know, it's so you know, one mistake and it could, you know, could mess everything up.
Yeah.
You know, get caught with a punch and that's it, game over.
How's it like I know that you're in there, you hear people screaming and you know, you're hearing everything. How is it for you? Are you hearing that in your head, like when you're fighting,
sometimes,
or do you just like get lost and locked in what you're doing?
Sometimes I do hear it. You know, sometimes I do hear it. I'm really like even when I'm sparring, you know, I'll see somebody like doing something and I just like, what's this guy doing? You know, and that might be because I have ADHD, you know, or I think it's ADD for like attention.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it's called, but it's always been, you know, like to focus has been hard. But my mind just works different, you know. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. But yeah, sometimes I'll hear somebody say something like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, "Oh, Abel, you suck," and I'm like, "This guy."
And how do you? What brings out the dog in you when you're fighting?
It's just in me, man. I just have, and sometimes, you know, sometimes it's not in me. Sometimes it's not in me, but for the most part, I mean, it's in me, man. You know, for the most part, you know, I just, you know, after everything I've been through, all the obstacles I had to overcome, it's just, you know, it's just in me. You know, some people have it, and some people don't.
Yeah, I can imagine how complex it is, man, because sometimes you feel like performing and you can feel good all camp, and then just that one day, man, you're just feeling off. You're like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that too, you know, the nerves, the tension. It's happened to me, you know.
Yeah.
And
you
know,
still
even
go
in this
in there and
last
just
fight,
bite down
this last fight, you know, it was here in my home. I was nervous. It took me like 2 rounds.
Yeah.
To like, okay, I'm here. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
you know, but sometimes it doesn't take me. Just I'm here and I'm ready to fight. Um,
Yeah, I can. Doing a few jujitsu competitions. I remember the first one that I went, man. Like I just let that adrenaline just drain, man,
Yeah.
and I just went too hard, and then
Wow.
you didn't leave anything in the gas tank, because you're just like you're ready to get in there, and the
Yeah.
adrenaline's going, and have you ever had those moments where because you've got to pace yourself, right? Obviously, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or else you'll get rid of the gas tank too early, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you manage that whole thing?
Uh,
It's just
just
through the
through the
training.
training, man. Through the training, you have to be ready for everything. You know, you have to have enough gas in the tank to fill you that whole 12 rounds. That's if you gotta fight um 12 rounds hard, real hard, then that's what we train for. Um, and just it, just try to not tense up in there as well to waste that energy, and just try and just do what you do. Do what you do.
Out of all the places that you've traveled, what's been your favorite place that you've traveled to?
Favorite place? I think I like Russia.
Russia.
Russia, yeah, yeah. Russia.
That guy was tough, man. I seen that fight. Yeah,
he
like
was
that.
tough. He's the number one amateur in the world, right? He might bring the gold medal. He beat the American
Yeah.
Olympian like 3 times. So it was definitely was tough, man. But I think that if we had all of us, we all went with like tennis shoes. Nobody had, there's no snow out here really,
Yeah.
so nobody had snow boots, and we had shoes. So when we went there was like a blizzard,
Shit.
and our feet got soaked in the snow, and we got sick. I mean, it was hard, man. Getting sick and the jet lag and it was a long flight, 33 hours.
Yeah. 33 hours. How does that work?
We fly from here to Houston to Turkey, Turkey to Russia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you? Did you have a news people with you? Because I saw there was like a little documentary style video that was being made.
Oh, that one you might have been thinking about Korea. I had a
Oh,
flight in
okay,
Korea
okay.
as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And that one, the flight wasn't as bad, but still bad. That one was like a 15-hour flight, and I mean 15 hours
Yeah.
straight. So, at least we went to Turkey. It was like 10 hours. Went to Houston. 4 hours. Out there we had a straight, 15 hours on the plane.
How do you deal with all the nerves before the fight, man? Like, what do you have a routine, or is there something that you do? Listen to music.
Something that's been helping me, and I just learned recently, has been classical music.
That's dope.
Yeah, classic Mozart. Listening to Mozart.
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah, it's just things
Soothing.
you learn along the way. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So you just always trying new things to say,
Yeah,
like, all
just
right, man, like
check it
let's see
out.
how I can tweak this.
Yeah.
Even
'Cause,
after 40 fights.
even right now I'm still learning. There's just you just never know. The mind is, other fighters, some of other fighters do this. Some other fighters, it's just things that I've learned along the way. So
Yeah.
and that's with all athletes. I've heard of other basketball players doing this too.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to like hip hop and stuff, you might tense up. You might not,
Gotcha.
the day before, you might just still have that, and you might not sleep
Yeah.
because you're in the moment.
Yeah. I read Tim Grover's book, and he was talking about, routines. Kobe had it. Jordan had routine. Do you have some type of routines that you do, like to prep, or any rituals or anything that you?
The classical music has been something that I've been doing. Meditating has been helping me out as well.
For sure.
Uh, and yeah, it's been
Breath work. You do breath work
yeah,
and stuff like that.
That too.
Cool, man.
That too.
What legends or what boxing people have you met other than like Manny Pacquiao?
Who else have I met? I mean, I met Oscar a few times. Oscar De La Hoya.
What was he like?
Uh, he's a good. He's a cool guy. He's a
Yeah.
cool guy. Yeah. Yeah, his character. But yeah, he's cool. I mean, I've never met Canelo, but I've seen him at the gym. You know, because I go and spar in his gym. He goes to San Diego, so I've seen him around. And I spar his teammate, a guy named Oscar Valdez. So you know, I'm there with the big dogs.
Yeah. I think you was it Shane Mosley or somebody else that you. I think I thought I seen a post on your. Somebody was you were talking with and.
Oh, you know who I met as well? Dana White.
Oh, Dana White.
Dana White.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dana White he's a really cool guy too. Dana for sure.
Yeah. What do you think about the UFC?
I like it, man. You know, and I used to not like it, but when I met some of the other fighters,
Yeah.
I'm like, huh, you know, these guys living the same way we do.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing we do. You know, and you know,
Have you ever thought of getting into anything else other than boxing? Like MMA?
No. I'm trying. I mean, maybe bare knuckle, just because it's kind of almost the same concept.
Yeah.
But, you know, for now, just boxing. Cause
It's crazy, man, how you can just remove the gloves from somebody like Mike Perry and he's just like a killer in bare knuckle.
yeah, man, it's
Crazy.
crazy.
It's just like crazy.
And it might be because maybe his head is hard. And the other
Yeah.
fighters hurt there. It's just
Yeah. Did you see his knuckle the way it stated? He said that with Alvarez,
I didn't see it.
it's like all fucked up. He's got like a big round circle. Jake
way.
Paul was making fun of him, telling him that he had herpes on his hand or something. Yeah, but he's like, no, that was from punching Alvarez's face. Yeah, so
Wow,
it was like
that's
he was like a ring, man. It's like on his knuckle.
No way.
It's like a ball. It's like somebody just stuck a gumball in his knuckle.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm sure you break your fist all the time and you got fractures all over your hand and shit.
I haven't had any.
Wasn't it Mike Tyson that got into a fight at a club or something like that and then he punched the guy and he broke his fist? Something like that.
He punched the guy.
Yeah, but it wasn't with gloves or anything. It was just at a bar. It was like at a club.
Oh, and Mike Tyson broke his.
Yeah, he broke.
Wow.
I think that's it, man. We can check that. If it is, Devin, like put that up so we can check that out, man, because that'd be cool to see that. But yeah, sometimes you do it because it doesn't translate. You know, like you can have a guy that dominates in the UFC comes over to boxing and he's not the same.
Yeah,
he's not performing at the same level.
Yeah, not the same.
Especially, I've been seeing all these UFC guys coming into boxing, man, and they're just
not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. You know.
What do you think's different on the transition?
It's just, you know.
It's just because when you do it so much, maybe you know the tweaks of the sport and you know the little things.
You got to be real. It's just different, you know. You're not looking out for, you know, you got only your hands, but you have to perfect it because it's a little small mistakes. You know, if you have your elbows too wide, which a lot of UFC guys do because they're blocking, you know,
kicks
the kicks
and
the takedowns. So you cannot do that in boxing because you will get countered.
Yeah. I've been seeing like the new recently they've been doing like social media clips where they have like the in-depth, like, you know, usually when you see a fight on TV, you see it, but you see it from the side and from a distance, man. So, but the new like stuff with the phone cameras and stuff, like it's real in there. So you're seeing like, you're hearing everything, man. So it's like, damn, like that guy hits hard, or, you know, that's pretty cool. What I think what they're doing with boxing nowadays with social media.
Yeah, it is cool, man.
It just gives you a different look and feel that you've never. And I'm sure maybe soon they'll probably have these little cameras that you'll have on you that's not going to disturb you or something.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
What's the most challenging fight that you've been in, or the boxing match that you've been in?
I think I had this one fight in back in Midland, Texas, and it wasn't so much the guy was tough, but it was more so myself, myself not being prepared the way I should have been. So it's just things along the way that you learn.
Yeah.
It's not like I haven't really fought anybody else that's been tough. It's more like myself.
Yeah.
I'm fighting myself, and it's up to you if you want to be ready, or if you don't, you got to pay the consequences.
That's crazy you say that, because that's what it is, man. And everybody, right?
Yeah,
but even in boxing, like you say, I'm not here. He's not my opponent. I'm my opponent, right?
Yeah.
I'm here fighting myself, man, in my brain, in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got to get out of my head and get through this. Like I know what I'm capable of, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What are some things that you do outside of boxing? Like what are hobbies and things that you like to do?
I do like in the community, help out the community, whatever I can do, whatever I can help out. Like I said, I go to the children's hospital, go to the nursing homes, and just be there for them, because a lot of them, they need somebody. Just even it doesn't even have to be an athlete; it could just be anybody.
Yeah.
People they like visitors.
What's your next goal for boxing?
Next goal, try and we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. I don't really have a goal. I just try to be the best that I can.
Was I tripping, or you had done like a post recently? Like, what's the next step? What should I do?
No, I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know what's next, man. I really don't. But we'll see, man. Whatever is in store is I'm a believer in God, so I just leave it up to God, So,
yeah.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
So I know you're a family counselor, or you're a marriage counselor.
Yeah.
It's what you aspired to be before boxing?
I wanted to be, yeah, man. I wanted to be that, but just wasn't in the books for me.
What calls you to that? Like what calls your attention to that? Is it just that helping people?
Yeah, I just liked helping relationships. I would get sad when I would see like couples break up, and I was like, man, maybe one day I could be a marriage counselor, and it's kind of what I wanted to be.
Had you taken on people for marriage counseling before?
I given I'm not. Like I said, I'm not licensed, but I mean, if there's a couple, there's been people, it could be just anybody. I just give them my input, and sometimes they just need somebody to talk to or to vent,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a counselor, but it would help, just to have it helps somebody, just for them to have somebody there to vent to and just I give them my input. Like I said, I'm not licensed, or anything, but I give them my input, and they can take my advice, and if they take it, they take it. But if not, then I respect that, because I'm not licensed.
After boxing, will we see Abel go back to marriage counseling?
Who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows? That'd be cool though, but who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah. I was going to ask you too. I wanted to, talk a little bit about the marriage counseling, and because that caught me off guard when I was reading your profile. I was like, where does the marriage counseling come from, man? Like,
yeah, I know.
Like, because usually fighting, boxing, people see it like real grimy, real like manly.
Yeah, it's
and then marriage counseling like takes super patience. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I like to live like a balanced life.
Yeah. The yin
So
and the yang.
In the boxing world, it's really like, rough and just violent.
Yeah.
And in this other world, it's like patient and calming and soothing and helping. So I like to live, a balanced life. I think we should all live a balanced life, because too much of everything can be bad.
Yeah, for sure.
And anything, a lot of partying could be bad. A lot of even like too much good, too much vitamins could be bad.
Yeah.
you know. So
Are
that
you
is-
following a pretty strict diet? Are you?
Yeah, I live. It's really strict. I mean, to me, it's not really strict. It's more like my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's not really. To me, it's not strict. It's
Yeah.
just who I am.
For sure. And have you always been like that, or because you
No.
box your whole life, right?
No, I mean, I come from Mexican family, so we don't. My mom didn't.
That's what I was gonna tell you, man. Because
Yeah.
our families like be cooking tacos,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
burritos, and
yeah,
no, mijo, te miras muy flaco, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, we. I don't think my mom knew what was healthy, what wasn't. So we just always ate like, homemade like enchiladas or
Yeah.
tacos, whatever it was, But just things that I've learned along the way,
Yeah. So
I got to do this.
Do you hire a dietitian for your?
I just do my own research.
Okay.
Yeah, do my own research, and I've just learned
And
along the way.
you've been able to cut weight like that and everything?
So far, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because
Yeah.
you fight at 35?
35, yep. 135.
It's
So-
tough, man. Is it? Because I know when you're younger, it's easier to come down, but
Yeah. So when I was, when I first started my career, I was like 130. I actually went down to 126. And
wow.
fought at 126 a little bit. And then I fought, 130.
Yeah.
And now I'm at 35. So,
What was that jump up for? Like, it's harder to.
it's
to
harder.
Cut.
Yeah. I mean, to get older.
How many
harder.
pounds are you having to cut before a fight? Because
Maybe like 10.
okay, so you
10,
usually
12.
walk around at 45, 50?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah. 45.
that's not a bad. That's not
Too bad.
Yeah,
Not too bad, but still, still.
it's still a grind.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like bringing you way down, man. I don't think I've weighed under 145 at 140 because I did when I would compete. I'd come down to 140.
140.
Shit, in a long time, man. But it's tough.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
Especially if like I usually walk around at 55 or 60. That's
Mhm.
that's like 15. So yeah, it's a little bit tough. In the UFC, some of them come down 20, 25.
Yeah, they do, man. Yeah.
So I was like, damn, man.
I've seen guys, they do that, like even
Yeah.
up to 40 pounds.
Yeah,
40, 50
just
pounds.
to have the
It's crazy.
competitive edge. And shit.
Yeah.
You usually weigh in the day before, right?
Yep. the
In
day
boxing, is
before.
it the same?
Day before.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Mhm.
Damn, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is it like? Like, I know you recently fought here at the Southwest Park.
Mhm.
What's it like fighting in front of the El Paso fans?
Oh, it was awesome, man. El Paso fans are the best. Real supportive. Of course, you get your, a few fans that just, they just go against everybody.
Yeah.
They try to make it entertaining. There's, it's just how it is. I'm not taking it personal.
Yeah.
Can't take it personal because they're there. They paid their ticket.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are there.
But you got a lot of love in general. The
I
majority.
got majority is love for sure.
Yeah.
El Paso supports, and that's why I like El Paso, man, because they accepted me, and
Yeah.
I don't think if I would have moved to, say, San Antonio, it would have been the same, or like another
Yeah.
city like, California. I don't think it would have been the same.
So you do all your training out of El Paso.
I don't train here. No, I usually have my camp in San Diego, California.
Okay.
And so that's whenever I was telling you, like, I'll go to Canelo's gym.
Yeah.
He's out there. There's a lot of great talent out there.
And your coaches travel with you to.
Yeah, for
Okay.
the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
They go to my fights, come with me to anywhere, sparring. Yep.
Yeah, man. That's pretty intense because you're traveling all the time then.
Yeah, man, we go everywhere. It's tiring.
I can imagine. Like, how many trips do you do per year?
Man, I wouldn't even be able to tell you.
Yeah, so every year it's just like, it just depends how many fights are
I
going
mean,
on.
Yeah, I mean, within the U.S., a whole bunch. I mean, for sure, for sure, a few times a month.
Yeah.
So, just for anything, man, like meetings, collaborations, sparrings, training, fights.
Do you mentor other young fighters?
I give them my advice. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, I try and tell them like, hey, if I see somebody that I can help out, I'll give them some advice and I'll give them my input.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's up to them if they want to take it. And I think at the end of the day, even if they don't take it, in the back of the head, it's there. And if they don't take that advice, maybe one day they will. But I think in the back of the head, when you hear something,
Yeah.
you might not pay attention, but it's there in the back of your head.
What's the average age of like when a boxer retires?
I think 35.
35.
Yeah.
So he can still fight up to 35.
But everybody's different, man. It just depends on how you've been taking care of yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I know in the UFC it's short, right? Like
it's shorter.
Yeah, I think it's like 7 years or 5 years and shit. So if you go over, like these guys that have fought till 40, it's because it's a beating on the body, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I think maybe that's why a lot of them have gone to boxing, because they've just beating up maybe their elbows or knees.
Yeah.
And they just, they don't have to use that in boxing.
Meniscus tears, LCLs, PCL tears, and stuff like that. Have you ever had to go through an injury where you had to recover?
Yeah, my elbow.
Really?
My elbow. So
from boxing,
yeah.
How was that recovery and just getting your mind back in there to throw it again and feel
it was hard at first, but I just recently we just had to work on it and start new, and I feel like it got better than what it used to be, because I just worked on it so much more that it just ended up being
stronger.
Better
Sometimes
it used to be.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's like a blessing in disguise, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It wakes you up to like, all right, man, I gotta work on this a little bit more, man. Maybe I was like neglecting that specific thing, but I was just curious because I tore my LCL, my PCL, and it was a build up. Like it took almost like 9 months to heal from it, and just getting back on it, you're like trying to get the confidence again, trying to feel confident to get back in there, and stuff like that. So that's why I asked you. What are some of the challenges that you face, when trying to juggle a boxing career, man?
Boxing, just life, man. Life in general. You don't make a lot of money in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's something that you just have to go through. If you don't have a promoter, if you don't have a manager that's gonna invest in you, you're just gonna have to make it the hard way.
Yeah.
Fight for pocket change and climb your way up the hard way. But sometimes, that'll make you stronger. Sometimes, it'll break you. I've seen a lot of guys that I came up with that they had everything and they're not there. And it's just everybody's different, man. A lot of the guys that I debuted with, he was a big card, top rank card, and everybody on there, there's nobody there but me. I'm the only one.
Damn.
And that's on a lot of cards in my beginning of my career. A lot of guys were coming up.
Yeah.
And just each guy, just one by one. A lot of guys that, I think the guy, when I fought in El Paso, I'm probably the only one still fighting from that card. My first fight, it was back in 2016.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody else is still fighting.
Was there any other big boxers that come out of El Paso?
Any
like
big
professionally?
Yeah. There was Antonio Escalante.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You think that he's been the most known so far. He did a lot. Escalante. He put El Paso on the map, I think.
For sure. And did you ever get a chance to meet him?
Yeah, I met him a few times. We're actually supposed to fight.
Really?
Talking about that, yeah. And maybe we still might fight. It's just up to him if he can get it together.
Yeah.
If not, then shoot, it would have been a good one.
Yeah, because he's already retired, right? So
he says he is. Well, actually, he never said he was.
Yeah.
So, but he said he wants to come back, but it's just, it's hard.
Are you the only professional boxer right now from El Paso that's actually like ranked professionally?
I think so.
That has
Yeah.
your.
I believe so. Yeah, I mean there really hasn't been a lot of, there hasn't been I think some like a man that's been a world champion
Yeah.
in El Paso. I don't think that there's ever been,
Wow.
and El Paso has a
Yeah,
lot of
because there's
talent.
the female. There's the Hans, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I think she's the first world champion, female world champion.
yeah.
And that's it. Just Jennifer Hahn. That's the only world champion that there's ever been out of El Paso. So
That's crazy, man.
yeah, man. I mean, good for her for putting El Paso on the map, becoming the first world champion.
Yeah.
But as far as in the men division, there hasn't been a world champion.
So you're bringing it back.
I'm trying to. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm trying to get it here. I wouldn't necessarily bring it back because there hasn't been a man to become a world champion here. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to bring it here.
Yeah.
The title here.
Do you aspire? I mean, obviously it's a dumb question. That's what you get into the sport for, right? To be a world champion. So
Yeah.
is that something that's on your mind constantly?
Yeah, I mean, I want to become a world champion. At the end of the day, really, nowadays belts don't mean much
Yeah.
like they used to back in the day. Ryan Garcia, he fought Tank. They didn't fight for a world title, but it was such a huge fight. But yeah, for sure, I definitely want to become a world champion.
What do you think about this whole Ryan Garcia thing that happened and him? Dana White had commented and said that he felt that it was a supplement that was tainted. Just looking at the analysis, that there was other people within his circle that have worked for USADA and stuff like that had said, just with the amount that was in there, it's just like a clear that it was probably a tainted supplement or something like that. But
wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, it could be true. It could be true. Who knows? Who knows? It could be true, but it's a lot going on out there with them.
Yeah. What do you think about Ryan as a fighter?
I think he's naturally talented.
Yeah.
He's naturally just gifted, and he's one of those once in a blue moon. He got a lot better than what he used to be, I'll tell you that, man. People just, get better along the way,
Yeah.
They go through a traumatic event and they just somehow get way better.
Yeah. I can imagine, man, how much pressure he has.
Yeah.
How much fame he has, money he has.
Yeah, man.
Me and somebody said, Abel, here's $20 million today, bro. Are you going to still have the fire and the dog in you to continue getting up?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? That only happen if it happens.
Yeah.
I think that I will, but, I've been through so much that I think it's always going to be there no matter what, no matter money or fame or anything, it's just.
For you,
I have
it's like,
something. I have something to prove, and it's not really about the money because
yeah.
I could have made it. I've had a lot of opportunities to make money outside of boxing.
Yeah.
And it's not what I want.
Yeah.
Money's not really what I want. I want to do this.
That's what I was going to mention to you is I know you said, growing up with your pops, bringing you into boxing. This is like family stuff. This is family business. Like,
yeah, for sure. It's more than money and fame.
Yeah.
It's something that it's something that I have to do.
Is it the legacy that's driving you on that?
No, it's just something to prove, and I just, like I said, man, it's just something to prove to myself, to prove to others, and I just want to accomplish it.
Who do you think? I know Mendoza versus Pitbull is coming up.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think Pitbull. I think Pitbull's gonna win.
Yeah.
He's looking strong right now, man. He's looking strong. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Do you think one day you ever fight either one of them?
I think so. I think it could happen.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very, very possible.
Would you take that fight if it was against Pitbull?
For sure. I would take it.
Yeah, man. So what like What would it take to get there?
To get against one of those fights, boxing works in weird ways, man. Sometimes they'll choose the other guy, the the worst guy than the better guy. So I really don't know. I really don't know, man. I have no idea boxing.
I saw a documentary like on all the politics about boxing,
Yeah.
and they were talking about, that a lot of the fights got lined up depending on who your promoter was, and
That too. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure a lot of it's still going down today, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were
Probably
actually
got it worse.
paying off. Like you had to pay if you wanted your fighter at the very top. You had to pay a tax. I think it was the one that it was on the guys that do the pound for pound rankings.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, I mean, boxing's always been like that, man.
Yeah.
It's always been like that.
Yeah, so that's why, like a lot. I'm pretty sure that's why Ryan still sticks with De La Hoya. Like hearing
Yeah.
Canelo talk about him so much, and
Yeah.
what do you think about like the way he Canelo went off on him this last time, man?
That's their problem, man. I'm not gonna get in between that, but yeah, I mean, Canelo, and De La Hoya, they got beef. They got beef with each other, and it's boxing.
Yeah, I think they suspended Ryan for 1 year, right?
1 year. Yep.
Yeah.
1 year.
You think he's actually going to do MMA?
I don't think so.
He says he came.
He says
out.
he is. He says. We'll see. We'll see.
I think the other one that was talking about it was Jake Paul.
Oh yeah.
And he
Jake
had
Paul.
offered money to Nate.
Nate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to do it. I think that would be a good fight because Nate's not going to kick him
Yeah. That's
for
true.
sure. He'd
Yeah.
probably take him down,
Yeah.
but I think Jake's too big, man.
Yeah. I think so.
He's big, man. I mean, he's what 6'1", 6'2",
he's
and
a
he's
big
probably
guy.
like 3. He probably walks around like 250.
Yeah. He is a big guy for sure.
Yeah. So, what did you think? Did you see the Masvidal and?
Yeah, I saw the Masvidal and Nate Diaz. It was a close fight. It was a really close
Yeah.
fight. I thought so.
Yeah.
I think Masvidal hit the harder shots. Nate hit him more times.
Yeah.
Just depends on who's judging the fight, I guess. But yeah, it was a close fight.
Yeah, there was some bad blood, and there was that rumble before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that like leading up to it, which is typical to Nate Diaz and his brother doing that stuff. That I think his brother was supposed to come back and fight, but
Who,
they
Nate
just can't.
Diaz?
Yeah, Nick was supposed to fight recently against I think Luque in the
UFC?
UFC, but they just canceled that.
Man, who knows? Yeah, I mean, why do you think that is? Why do you think they canceled it? Was it Nick? Nick was just.
I think so, bro. I don't know. Did you see Nick's last fight?
I didn't see it. No.
It was just not a Nick Diaz fight, bro. Like,
Yeah.
They're awkward in their fighting style, just off. But this one was like, man, I felt kind of bad, like looking at him. Like, and I've been a UFC fan forever, so he's always been a killer, bro.
Yeah.
But he just didn't have that killer instinct in him.
Yeah.
And I think the UFC or not UFC, but USADA or whoever does the drug testing, that they they banned him for like so many years, man. I think they killed his career doing that, and but it's good to see him back. I hope to see him back.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Nate back too,
Yeah, me too, man. I hope to see Nate.
because they're dogs when they're
Yeah.
like with him, like just seeing him, like how he wobbled Edwards the last time they fought, and then right now Edwards been dominating. It's like, man, I would really love to see that run back again.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too.
Are you a fan of UFC?
Yeah. I've been I've gotten around it, man, and I like UFC, and it'd be cool, man, to see Nate back in the cage.
Yeah,
And
it would be cool. I mean, to see it, if he can do it with Jake Paul would be cool. I think he would try to take him down and
Yeah.
probably try to do some
would be-
jiu-jitsu with
that
him,
would
which
be
would
cool.
be interesting to see. I think he said he offered him 11 million for that fight,
Wow.
or 15 million, or some number.
That's what I heard, man.
But
who
you see
knows?
what's happening with the Masvidal fight. They're trying to like get recover their money, man. They're suing the promoter because they offered. I think they were supposed to get 9 and you got 1.
No way.
And the guy was like, "Dude, I'm going through financial problems," and he's like, "Well, why didn't you disclose this before the fight?" So he didn't collect this whole purse, so they're suing.
Huh.
Yeah, he's out of some money there, but I thought that was pretty interesting. But do you ever think you'll see a boxing match there at the Spear in Vegas?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think so. I think eventually they will.
Dana says
I know
that
that the UFC is gonna be there, right?
Yeah, they're going to be there. Supposedly, it's
Mexican?
going to be all the Mexican fighters. It's going to be his love letter to the Mexican people, man. But I don't know if we're going to see. He says you'll never see an event because it just doesn't make sense financially.
Oh really? At the Spear?
Yeah, he said he's in. I forgot the number, man. I don't want to throw a wrong number out there, but he's in there over $10 million just on that.
Wow.
Just putting it together and organizing it. So he's like, there's no way that anybody will ever duplicate this because it's just too expensive. It'd be dumb to do it. But he said, I just doing it because, like, he loves Mexican fighters. So tell me, what makes a Mexican fighter, man? Everybody always talks about this in the UFC. Like when
I
somebody
think
says
that
you
they
fight
have
like a
that-
Mexican.
They're really aggressive. They come forward, and they put it on. They're there. They keep fighting, like Rocky Balboa, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe not the most skilled, but that hard work ethic overcomes that, skill, and it just overwhelmed. It overwhelms you.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think that's what Mexicans are known for.
Yeah, like Julio. He was good at that.
Chavez, yeah.
Bite down, you think he's done.
Yeah.
And then he just gets a second win and comes
And
back.
that's when it kills you. You're hitting somebody, you're taking your best shot. It just don't go down. Nothing can kill you mentally. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mentally, it's like, damn. And then he comes back and he's a dog, and you're tired because you just spent
Yep.
a lot of that gas tank on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everywhere you go, do you feel that like the Mexican fighters are respected?
No, because not a lot of Mexican fighters are like that.
Yeah.
A lot of Mexican fighters are there for a paycheck.
Yeah.
So, they're just there to, the money is a lot more in Mexico. So they'll come out here, get their paycheck. They don't care if they win or lose. But if it's a real one, then you better be prepared.
Yeah. What do you think about the Saudis talking about the Saudi prince talking about buying boxing?
Boxing.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, man. Hopefully he can. He's putting up good fights.
And
He's getting the money.
some more money. Yeah. Do you see it like consolidating like all these different federations, like maybe coming under one?
I don't think so. I don't see it happening, man. I think it's just too tough, too complicated.
How do you do it? You register with one and or you got to just be.
You got to fight for one, and you got to fight for like a minor belt, defend it, keep fighting for. Everybody's different, but
Yeah.
it's like you said, man. You got to know somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's like that in fighting too, right?
Yeah.
In the business, because Dana's been pretty good about, keeping it, keeping it under one umbrella, man.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the whole fighter pay thing that Jake Paul's talking about with UFC fighters? Being somebody that has come up in boxing and had to grind through, like, not getting,
the thing about the UFC is that a lot more of them are getting paid.
Yeah.
As far as in boxing, you get paid a lot more, but only the top guys get paid good.
Yeah.
And then the UFC, there's a whole more roster of them getting paid.
Yeah.
So, it just depends how you look at it.
What do you think about Mayweather as a
think-
fighter?
He's a good businessman. Good businessman, for sure.
Yeah. He's been able to take over the game.
Mm-hmm.
Still to this day. Do you think Ryan could have taken out Tank, man? Like, seeing that fight, I was like, you think he just cut too much weight? You think that's what
I
happened?
think he cut too much. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But I mean, Tank's a small guy, you know. He's
Yeah.
not. You can't. It was a fair fight because Tank's. You know, why is Tank isn't a 140 fighter or 147 fighter, 145. He's
Yeah.
a 135 fighter, so you have to be a 135 fighter, you know. And
Yeah.
that's what Tank is. So it was you know, Ryan was a 135 fighter for that fight, and he did the best that he could.
He got a liver shot, huh?
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah,
What's it like getting hit in the liver, man?
it's tough, man, tough. But I got that Mexican in me, so I'm gonna keep fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I asked, because, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, man, he went down, and yeah,
Man.
come on, man, what's going on? Get up. But sometimes it just takes the air out of
Just
you.
takes the air, man, and it's, you know, boxing fans are the, you know, fight fans, you know,
Fight fans in general talk
fight fans
shit.
are fight fans, you know, they're always gonna talk bad. You could be the best. I feel like you could be the best fighter, and they got something bad to say.
Who's your favorite UFC fighter?
Probably
Or one of them? Because I know, like, if they ask me, I probably got a
Ferguson.
few. Tony?
Yeah, Tony Ferguson.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
cause I hung out with him, and he was a cool guy.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
got some
Tony-
crazy training techniques, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Break dancing and hitting poles and...
yeah. Tony's a character, man, for sure.
Dude, I had a lot of, like, I was rooting for him this last time because I know he was training with David Goggins.
Oh yeah.
Did you see those videos?
Yeah, yeah.
He was doing, like, they were doing football field lunges, and David Goggins got him on the treadmill until Tony was puking on the side. Well, he just kept it. He's a dog, bro. He's got the mind, you know, like he still wants it.
Yeah.
But the body is just like, after this last couple of times, you know, like him getting arm barred and his arm getting destroyed. I'm like, man, just tap. Like, he wasn't going to do it, man.
Yeah.
But so you tell me a little bit about that. You met with him, and
Yeah, and he's just a cool guy, man. Just a real down.
how did you meet him? Was it through the fight game, or
Yeah,
was
fight. I mean, everybody kind of knows. You know, a lot of the UFC guys,
Yeah.
they have, you know, the same strength and conditioning coaches as the boxing
Oh shit.
people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So
And a lot of them, they train their hands with boxing coaches.
that too, they'll get a boxing coach. But as far as like strength and conditioning, you know, similar.
Yeah.
So we'll have like the same strength and
So
conditioning.
you were in the gym with him.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Been in the gym with them.
You got to hang out with him and talk to
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I got to talk to him, and not just in the gym, but outside the gym as well.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, man. He's a cool guy.
What kind of stuff does Tony talk about?
Anything, man. Tony's a cool down to earth guy, man. Tony's cool.
A lot of people love him, man. Like, one of the most loved UFC fighters ever.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And
Tony's
I loved him. I think he would have probably, you know, got the belt had he fought with, you know, Nurmagomedov. You know, I know there was talking shit back and forth, but that was when he was in his prime, dude. Before like he got knocked out, and yeah, that stuff. Yeah, once he started getting beat up a little bit, it's a little bit harder. But still, to this day, I think he's got one more in him, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're
so,
saying
man.
that he's going to fight one more time.
I think so.
Because
I
even
hope
this
so,
last time, he still stuck in there, man. And I was actually
man,
like,
yeah, Tony's a hard worker, man.
yeah.
You know, so don't sleep on my guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's definitely one of the. What's your favorite boxing video game, man? Do you ever play any boxing video games?
Not since like the Nintendo 64 days.
Really? Did you ever play Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
I think, yeah, I played that one. Yeah, Fight Night, round 1, Fight Night, round 2, all those.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Tyson Punch Out was a favorite game of mine, but that was on the first Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I'd be playing that shit for hours, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool, man.
Yeah, man.
So what's the next step like on your fighting? Are you just waiting right now to see
right now,
when
just waiting, man. See what happens, you know. See if whatever happens. If I, you know, just making it this far, I'm happy, man. You know, being able to do stuff like this, being on podcasts, talking to people about my world, and just happy to be here. And if I were to never fight again, I'm happy that I made it this far.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a big accomplishment, and congratulations on that. Most people, won't even do 5 fights.
Yeah.
You did
yeah.
40, and
Yeah.
you've managed to stay undefeated, man. So
Undefeated,
that's huge. So congratulations on
Yeah.
that. Thank you, man, for continuing to give back to the community and coming onto the podcast, man, because we definitely want to highlight people doing great things and exceptional things on the podcast, man. So I appreciate you coming through. We've been in about 1:15, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down, man. But I appreciate you coming through and sharing your story with us, man. Very inspiring. How you've grown up through the boxing, and you've just stuck with it, man. It's hard. It's hard for people to stick with stuff like since you were 4 years old all the way to now.
All the way now. Yeah. I mean, been on a mission, and here I am.
How does your pops feel about you, like, now with everything that you accomplished, dude?
Man, I haven't made it yet, so we're still on the rise.
He's still pushing.
Yeah. So.
Right. I think I've seen you fight, and I've seen your fights. I think you have what it takes, man, and yeah, man. I hope to see you up there. It'd be great to be able to look back and be like, man, we were talking about this, months or years back, and seeing Abel what he's doing right now, man. So congratulations on that.
No, thank you.
And thanks for putting on for our city, man, for El Paso, because I know that a lot of people from El Paso watch the podcast. So before we close it out, man, where's the best place for people to get something to eat in El Paso if they're from out of town?
I like Crave.
Crave,
yeah. I like Crave. Where else?
How about Chico's Tacos, man?
Chico's Tacos.
Because everybody loves to talk about that.
Yeah, Chico's Tacos. Yeah, Chico's Tacos. Andale.
Cool.
So yeah, man.
Cool.
Definitely.
Even with your new diet, with your new lifestyle, you probably won't mess with it.
Probably not. No. Yeah.
All right, Abel. I appreciate you sharing.
Thank you for
share
having
your story, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. So you guys make sure go follow Abel. Check him out on social media. Check him out on YouTube, man. This guy's coming up, so check him out, man. All right, that's a wrap. Thanks for another episode of Monster Talks. We'll catch you guys on the next one, all right? That's it.